Hi, my name is Amy Mazzi, and I'm with Centurion Boats, and today I'm going to walk you through the all-new 2022 Centurion Ri265. This boat is 26 feet 6 inches. It is yacht certified, and there is a lot to talk about, so let's get to it. The 2022 Centurion Ri265 is unmistakable, especially when it's coming to pick you up at the dock. If it's nighttime, you can see that backlit Centurion logo on the bow. You can see those really bright docking lights. They're about 2,800 lumens a piece. They really light the way. But if you get the privilege of seeing one in the daylight, man, those body lines are definitely as distinct, and they look like nothing else on the water. You've got to check out the way that this RI series looks from Centurion. There is nothing like it. Part of the beauty behind this Ri265 is the gel coat, and you can make this boat look any way you want. After all, it is a custom-built Centurion, but so much so that you have the choice between 37 different gel coat colors and 4 different schemes. So I can spec this boat as solid, 1 color, or I can do a slice scheme, which is 3 colors. I can do a drive scheme, which is 3 colors, and I can do a core, which is 2 colors. You can choose whatever your heart desires, and this boat can look just like you want it on the water. The Ri265 is available with ram fill. Actually, this year it's available with ram fill squared. This new system of ram fill is over 3,000 pounds that fills in 90 seconds. It's located in tooled-in tanks beneath the floor, outside of any kind of storage area, so it doesn't take up any room on the interior of the boat, but it has been risen or raised, how should we say that, to yacht proportions. This new system is what we like to call the baller system. It is 4 new 2-inch stainless steel ball valves that control the intake and the exit for the ram fill. Now, what happens with ram fill is there's a scoop located underneath the boat. You get yourself underway under 15 miles an hour and the system will begin to fill. It will fill in 90 seconds, over 3,000 pounds in 90 seconds. And when you're ready to drain ram fill, it drains even faster. But these new valves give it a lot better consistency, almost maintenance-free, and they are pretty much bulletproof, but also used in yachts, in high-pressure fuel systems. They are built for high-performance use, and that's appropriate in the 265 because obviously it's yacht certified, so why shouldn't it have a baller ram fill system? The Ri265 is big, she's beautiful, but she also has small refinements that really set her off. One of them is the PTM two-toned anodized billet emblems, and a lot of them are lit, like this one above my head that denotes the model. This is common on the entire RI series, but the Ri265, well, you can't miss it. It looks great. You've got this same type of two-tone emblem on the ram fill, on the bow up front, all backlit, all beautiful, made by Protomet. And one of the things that really sets off the exterior of this boat, but it is a small, refined touch. Now, something that's not small is the amount of displacement that this boat creates in the water. The running surface under the Ri265 is an Opta-V, I would say on steroids. This Opta-V running surface not only has that deep V for a great rough water ride and to displace more water with less ballast, but it's got the balance of these Opta-V triangles at the rear corners of the boat to keep that side-to-side wake shift from affecting the shape of the wake or the wave. It also has hook built into the back of the boat, and what that does is create even more lift at the transom, making the running attitude of this boat more level, which creates less resistance in the water, saves you on fuel, and honestly makes it easier to drive. You can see over the bow of this boat. It does everything. Even though it's 26 feet 6 inches long, this boat handles like a much smaller boat, but creates the wave of something much bigger. The Centurion Ri265's running surface, that Opta-V hull, is what displaces the water, but it needs some help, and you've got available ballast to do that. Actually, you've got 5,850 pounds of available ballast in the Ri265. Now, once you've got all that filled up, weighted completely even, you turn on your quick surf and you can move that wave from side to side. How does that happen? You basically create lift opposite the surf side. You displace the surf side corner and create a wave. The great thing is, because the boat is weighted evenly, you don't have weight offset, I can switch the wave from side to side in 1.8 seconds. Literally, the wave switch is quick because it's done with quick surf. Boom. So you don't normally think about how inside quiet this boat is while you're standing on the outside of it, but I'm going to tell you why we're going to talk about that right now. The available Silent Stinger wake plate. This is the wake plate behind the Ri265, available as an option that makes the inside of the boat conversation quiet. And I'll tell you how it does that. What it does is it takes water into the plate, it's forced in by the running of the boat, and it tumbles that water through a series of baffles along with the engine exhaust. That takes down the noise of the engine, literally. I mean, you're sitting in the observer's seat and it's dishwasher quiet in there. You can barely tell sometimes in an Ri265 if the boat is running. I've had to do this, get up, walk to the back of the boat and see, oh yeah, it's on, because it's so quiet. So one of the things that this plate does is make the boat quiet, but it also changes the running attitude of the boat when you're underway. So it can get the bow of the boat down into the water if you're cruising across the lake on a rough day. It can also allow the bow to come up and the back of the boat to sit deeper into the water. Let's say you want that for a better wakeboard wake. It changes the shape of that wake and even your surf wave at varying positions. The Silent Stinger wake plate is multifaceted, but all of them increase the performance of the Ri265. One new component you may notice on the back of this Ri265 is the Centurion Shift Thruster System. It is an all-new option for 2022, and it can move this boat in a circle. Either way, actually, in about 35 seconds. And it's controlled at the throttle with a button. You can either spin left, spin right, spin a little bit each way. The great thing about this system, it's exclusive to Centurion. It's all stainless steel. It looks as good as it performs, but it can also handle itself. What I mean by that is the system itself is built to be able to use the thruster constantly for as much as a 45-second period. This is rare because the thruster takes so much energy. Typically, a normal battery package can only go in 10 to 15-second bursts before it kind of shuts down. So what this system does is it can allow you to spin the boat all the way around one direction or another with a constant button press without doing that. It gives you more functionality. Where that comes from is these big, oversized, deep cycle AGM interstate batteries. They are built to supply power when you need it and for as long as you need it. The Centurion Shift Thruster System is a new option for this year, and it's going to be around for many years to come. So when you step up onto the swim step of the Ri265, you realize you're way up here. Even on the water, this boat is tall. It's extremely deep. And one of the great options for this particular swim step is a ladder. And it stows away underneath the swim step. It doesn't interfere when you're underway, even surfing or wakeboarding with the wake or wave, but it also acts as a great vessel to get up on this swim step. That ladder is extremely helpful, especially if you don't have all your ballast full and the swim step is in the water. It can be out of the water just enough where it could be a little bit difficult to get up on. That ladder helps you out. The other thing about this swim step that you'll notice is it's got two tooled in handles, so you got a great place to grab and pull yourself up onto it. It also looks really cool. It's going to match the Gator Step scheme that you choose for your boat, and this particular scheme is the Warrior scheme. It looks amazing on the swim step and in the boat. We'll check that out in a bit. But the back of the boat is really got a lot going on. So we've got a trunk here that's great for storage. Or you can opt for a ballast bag to be located in this area as well. The other thing we've got is a seating area that's pretty unique to the Ri series. And what I can do if we're hanging out in the water is actually sit back here, hang out, get a little back support, and watch the kids swim or just hang around. Have something cool to drink. I got a cup holder right here. I'm pretty comfy. The Ri265 is all that. So when you're getting in the back of the Ri265, you got a lot of options. It's easy to get in this boat, but it never fails. If you're out on the water, everybody's swimming, you all try to get back in the boat at the same time, somebody has this rear hatch open, and then everybody's waiting on doing whatever you're gonna do, taking something out, putting something in before you can get in the boat. Well, not in the Ri265. I've got two choices on either side of this rear trunk to get up into the boat safely. So you can never be stuck out on the water and not be able to get back in this boat. But right now, since we're not on the water, I'm going to board the way I should this lovely walkover here. And the great thing about this walkover is when I step down, I don't have to step onto the seat cushion. I step on to a fiberglass piece with Gator Step on it, and then I can step down into the interior on the floor itself, and I don't have to step on my cushions. I know that that is a worry for a lot of people, especially when you enter the boat with shoes on. You don't have to worry about that in the Ri265. You can get in this puppy a number of different ways, all of which keep the interior nice and clean. Once you sit down into the Ri265, it's surprising. You know full well when you're boarding this boat that it's 26 feet 6 inches long, but you don't fully grasp that until you're in it. It is stretch limo proportions. This thing is huge. The lounge is so accommodating. Like I said earlier, it's yacht certified, but it's not just the size of the interior that matters. It's the quality of it, the comfort. I mean, we've got 3 different densities of foam in these seat cushions. So I've got one really cushy layer of foam that's right on the other side of the vinyl. Then I've got another layer of foam that has a little more density to it, but still some give. And then I've got a really rigid layer of foam at the very bottom, so it gives the seat support. It's got excellent bounce back, meaning that I could pinch this upholstery, I could step on it with a shoe, and it's going to bounce right back. And the way that this vinyl is pulled is very taut. So it looks nice, it's got a nice sheen to it. A lot of that though has to do with the vinyl itself. This is spraddling vinyl, and it's got a 17 mil top coat. This particular vinyl is our hex texture. This is an all hex interior, meaning that they've chosen that scheme for this particular boat. You can also get a scheme that has a base vinyl with a flatter texture to it and a hex accent. But on this particular setup, that hex look is amazing to the touch, to the eye, but also it stays cooler. It's got more surface area, so it dissipates heat better. And that's amazing when you're out on a hot day on the water, especially if your vinyl color is a darker color. By the way, we offer 16 different vinyl colors, especially in the hex pattern. You can also mix and match colors with our base and main pattern, which is, like I said, a flatter texture. What's holding this vinyl together is Gore-Tenara thread. Gore-Tenara thread is made by, you guessed it, Gore-Tex. Extremely resilient. It resists things like acid rain, it resists harsh cleaning chemicals, it does not stain. Also, the spraddling vinyl, which has a 17 mil top coat, resists abrasions and staining. So what I'm trying to say is this interior is resilient as it is beautiful. And it's got a lot of style to it. Just the overall design of the interior allows you to mix and match colors to your heart's content. This is a custom-made boat, so we don't make it until you order it and tell us what colors you want on this interior. And as you can see, you can have it almost any way you want it. The other thing that these cushions do is they cover massive storage. So these cushions are hinged and shocked, so I can access the lounge storage with one hand and use my other hand for loading or unloading, whatever I'm trying to get to, close it back up. But you see how big this lounge is? There's storage underneath almost every seat. So all the passengers that you can fit onto this boat, they can bring all their stuff, their friends' stuff, their kids' stuff, and you're gonna have a room to put everything away in the Ri265, guaranteed. One thing you can't miss when you're stepping into this Ri265 is the Gator Step floor. So we offer a lot of different combinations of Gator Step. You have 5 different schemes you can get on any particular boat. You can get a standard scheme, which is just the single layer shark fin. You can do a 2-layer Centurion cut, a 3-layer Centurion cut, a salute to service scheme, and then this one. This is the Warrior's cut, and this is by far my favorite because it gives you the most variety in look. Now this particular cut has 3 different layers to it. They each have 15 different Gator Step color choices. So I can make the bottom layer, which in this case is Silver Cloud. I can make that any color I want. That second layer, which is Sandstone, choose any color I want for that. And the top layer, which is black in this case, I could choose from 15 different colors on that top layer as well. And then one addition on the Warrior scheme, I can also have it laser cut, either with the wood grain, which is what you see here. I can do a Tetris pattern. I can even do what we call a camo, a digital camo pattern on the top. So you can literally make this floor look completely different from what you're seeing now, but I kind of like this one. This looks awesome. Another great distinct feature and option in some cases in the Ri265 is the lighting. You've got lots of it in this boat standard. For instance, the side panel. You've got PTM billet anodized side panel pieces that are backlit with the Centurion logo. You've got the Warrior backlit in the bow. I've got another Warrior backlit behind me here. You've got them on the exterior of the boat. I have them at the glove box. Lighting, lighting, lighting. And those come in every RI series boat, including the Ri265. The other lighting that I absolutely love that's an option in the Ri265 is the limo lighting, appropriately named when it's installed in the 265 because this interior is like riding in a stretch limo. But the limo lighting is mounted underneath the rail for the slide seat, shines down onto the floor. It definitely highlights whatever Gator Step scheme you've chosen in your boat, but it also just looks cool. High end. I love lights. One thing you may not notice when you're sitting down in the Ri265 is the top of the deck. But when you're boarding the boat, this is a very important refinement that the Ri265 has. In fact, the entire RI series offers, and it's an extremely wide top deck. This is great. When you're boarding the boat, you have a nice secure place to put your foot. You've also got whatever custom Gator Step you've chosen for your boat on the deck, and it's definitely a sure-footed way to get into the boat. And I have to point that out because I need every secure step I can get. As big as the Ri265 is on the inside, you need some versatile seating because you're going to have a lot of people on this boat and they're all going to want to be in their own special spot. Well, don't fear, the Ri265 can accommodate. So what I've got is a standard flip-up lean back so you can see the action going behind the boat and have some great back support in that process. Then you've got an enclosure here that provides another rear-facing lean back as well as a trash can, which is always handy. And as a mom, we want all the trash in its place, not on the floor, not on your hands. We want the trash put away. You've also got a 5-position slide seat. So the slide seat gets more positions with the length of the boat, so it only makes sense that this particular slide seat has 5 different locations. It can be in the back and can pretty much go all the way up here to the helm. You've also got 4 receptacles for lean backs that can be plugged into that slide seat. So as you slide it, you can face forward, face back, in any one of those 5 positions. You also have an optional table that you can plug into any one of those 4 receptacles on that slide seat, and you guessed it, the table can move with the slide seat. So whoever gets to have the snacks and the drinks on the interior of the boat is going to get that table right in front of them. It's very versatile, extremely handy, and it has to be. There's so many places to sit in here. With a lot of passengers, you gotta have a lot of places to set your drink, and these side panels in this Ri265 have 5 cup holders in each side. Extremely handy, within arm's length of almost every seat. Those that aren't near a cup holder are near one in a different area. So we've got a couple cup holders behind the rear-facing lean back that's behind the driver's seat. We've got 2 cup holders at the passenger side dash. We've got cup holders for days. Not to mention, there are 4 cup holders in the optional table that can be plugged into the slide seat and moved anywhere in this interior. So you've got all of those cup holders. Well, now all you need are the drinks. And those are located here in the ice chest in the floor of the Ri265. This comes standard with a 40-quart Grizzly ice chest that is color matched with your particular Gator Step, and you can access it in the floor, so you don't have to have anybody get up from their seat in order to grab a drink. It's convenient and it's big. You can take a lot of drinks with you in the Ri265. So one of the other cool things about an RI series boat, and including the Ri265, is the tower that comes standard on it is the Drop Zone Auto Tower by Roswell. And when I say auto tower, that's exactly what I mean. In a button press, it goes down, it comes back up, takes about 14 seconds on the way down, 17 seconds on the way up. It's easy to get into a garage where you've got some headroom clearance issues, and you can easily get it right back up. So it's super functional, but also beautiful. You can color match the tower shields of the Drop Zone Tower to match the exterior gel coat of your boat. And you can add an additional accent to the exterior tower shields, so you can two-tone them. So it's beautiful, it's functional, and yes, it's customizable. So I can get this tower in black or white. I can also outfit it with all kinds of different options, one of which you see up top here. This is the Warrior sound system by Wet Sounds. This particular stereo system it puts custom stereo systems to shame. It has 8 8-inch speakers on the interior that are exclusive to us from Wet Sounds. It also has 4 10-inch Wet Sound speakers in the cans that are mounted in the tower, and another 2 8-inchers shooting down. It allows you to change the zones, the different speakers that are on at different levels at different times, but this thing sounds amazing. Why? Because it's spilling sound into this huge interior from so many different angles at such a high power. If you want that, you've got major sound coming out of this boat. Beyond that, you've got it matched to your interior Gator Step, the colors that you chose, and this year you can get those speakers in white or in black on your interior, which is amazing in and of itself. You've also got a new Bombshell 2.0 rack by Roswell that's available this year on the Drop Zone Tower. This particular rack is amazing at caressing, securing, and keeping your surfboards safe. You invest so much money in those custom surfboards, these racks do them justice. They allow a really cushy place for them to stay, and this rack will accommodate as wide as a 23-inch board in each of the tines. But there's a lot more going on these new racks. Not only are they sandblasted billet aluminum, this year you can get them in either silver or black painted, which is really cool from the custom effect. If you chose a black tower, you can get a black rack like this to go along with it. But you've also got built-in flag holders. You've got hangers for towels, vests, rope. These racks are made to do a lot of different things, not just hold your board well. The other really cool thing that they do is swivel. And you'll say, that's not unique. Well, My favorite part about this swivel is it goes straight back. Why is that important? When you're towing down the road, it keeps from bugs collecting on these forks. They're really hard to get off, and you don't want to worry about that after a day on the lake. So set them to this back position and you are golden. Now, beyond the racks, yes, there are more options for the drop zone tower. You can opt for a bimini. Now, the bimini on this particular tower is a so long bimini, which is so appropriate because the Ri265 is so long, it needs a bimini just as long. And this one just about is. It covers almost the entire lounge in shade. So you're gonna have to try to sit in the sun when you're sitting in this boat with a so long bimini on it. That so long bimini also has board pockets on the top, so you can store another couple surfboards on top of this bimini. You also have the option of a Roswell bimini that also has board pockets in it. Also, you've got a double XL Roswell bimini that you can get that also covers a big area of the lounge. But the best part about both of these biminis, or all three of these bimini options, is you can store them and put them up in a matter of seconds. They're all very easy to manage, which is not typical for a bimini. And so we're really proud of these offerings because they're super functional, but also easy to get up and down, especially when you're ready to get off the lake. You want to fold up that bimini and go, maybe put down that tower, and you are ready to store this for the night and get ready for the next day on the lake. With all the seats in the Ri265, you would think there's not one that's better than another, but I'm here to tell you that's wrong. The driver's seat is the best seat in the house. This is a standard Cobra racing seat. It's got a high back, it kind of hugs you on the sides, but yet it swivels. And this particular boat has the 6-position auto seat in it as well. So I can get this into just the right position so I'm comfortable driving, even if it's all day, pulling all the kids on the water. The other thing that's very accommodating about the driver's area in general is the heater. So if you get an optional heater in an Ri265, you've got 3 different options for heat to be dispensed from. So I've got one that pours right on me on the driver's legs. Then I've got another that's right here. This is a pull-out snorkel. So if you've got passengers that want to bundle up with a towel and put this snorkel in with them, this will keep them warm all day long. I've got another snorkel that's up front in the walkthrough that extends to the observer seat or to the bow if you've got people sitting up there. So you can stay warm in any one of those locations. But right now I'm only concerned about me, the driver. So I'm going to turn around with my swivel seat here. I've got my heater that can pour right on me, but better than that, I've got my 6-position seat so I can tilt forward, I can tilt back, I can move forward, move back, move up and down. So for me, I need a little more height so I can see over the dash. So I move the auto seat all the way up so I've got great vision. And then lo and behold, I have these very small screens in my dash. Not really. These are the Revo touchscreens that are in all RI series boats. They are 12 inches on each side. Huge screens, allows great visibility, but also controls over almost every function of the boat. So I can easily go through my different menus. Right now I'm on the home setting, but from here you can see, I can see a lot of information. I can see my battery voltage, I can see my engine hours, I can see the temperature of my engine right off the bat. I can see my depth, the water temperature. I can see my stereo controls, my RPM of my engine, my fuel levels. I can see my zero off, whether it's on or off. I can see my speed, my set speed, you name it. From this view, I can see just about everything, but there is more. So if I want to control my quick surf, I simply hit the little wave icon on the right here, and I can see what am I set up to surf. Okay, I'm set up to surf regular right now. I think somebody else is going to go, they're goofy, so I'm going to go ahead and actuate the other way. It shows me on my little picture which way the boat is going to slightly lean, but it switches in about 1.8 seconds, that quick surf. Now let's say I'm ready to wakeboard, so I'm going to turn quick surf off. I can see the plate positions are that red line. They go back to 0, and I'm good to go, good to wakeboard. But, you know, when I'm wakeboarding, I probably want to turn quick launch on. Quick launch is going to throw my plates in the down position and allow me to get onto plane without having any bow rise. This is really helpful for wakeboarding because I'm loaded with ballast, ready to create a great wake, but I want to be able to get on plane quickly. So I want as little bow rise as possible. That's what quick launch gives me. So I can get onto plane in 6 seconds. And I am pulling that wakeboarder behind me. They're loving that wake, and I'm up on the water quick. But let's say I'm ready to maybe dump my ballast. I want to check my ballast levels. I've got 2 different views for my ballast settings. There are 7 available different locations for ballast in the Ri265, which has a maximum of 5,850 pounds of ballast from the factory. Well, I can control all of that in my ballast screens, but I've got 2 different views, and it depends on what you like. This particular view shows you exactly where the ballast is. You can actuate each area by touching it on its own, or you can fill all of the areas or drain all of the areas. Me, I'm pretty lazy. I like to fill everything up all at once, drain everything all at once, and that's typically how I do it. But I boat with a lot of people that are very particular about how much ballast they want in each area of the boat. Then I would go to the control view. That gives me an exploded view of those different ballast areas and allows me to control them independently and see where each of those levels is and easily fill or drain based on what my needs are. This is really nice, this view, for a lot of people. Sometimes it's overwhelming if you're like me and you just want to fill all and go or drain all and go. You've also got access to trailer mode in this particular view, either on preview or control. And now remember, trailer mode is when you pretty much open everything up. When you're putting the boat back on the trailer, you're making sure that all of the ballast is out, and you're opening all of those new valves, those 2-inch stainless steel ball valves. You're opening all those up and allowing air to flow through the ram fill squared ballast area. Now from here, I can go to my switching. A lot of this is lighting, both interior and exterior lighting. You've got a lot of exterior lighting accents on the RI series boats. You can control those lights here. You can also control your anchor light, your navigation light, your interior lights, your underwater lights, your docking lights, and then you can set your heater on and off. And your seat heater, this one has a seat heater as well, so you can control that via the switch screen. Then there's the stereo system. So this has the ICE stereo control in it. This particular stereo is controlled through the Revo screen. It makes it easy to get to radio stations, Bluetooth, you name it. And when you're talking about controlling a stereo system like the Warrior stereo system by Wet Sounds, you want it to be easy to access because you're going to be using it all day long. The great thing about the ICE stereo system is it also adjusts the volume of the stereo itself with the RPM of the engine. So where this is helpful is if you're pulling a surfer or a wakeboarder, they want their own tunes. They normally want them cranked up as much as they can so they can hear them behind the boat. But also, when that rider falls and you're going back around to pick them up, you want the level of the stereo volume to go down so you can check on them, be able to hear their response, make sure that they're okay, and see, are they done riding or are they going again? And that's what this stereo system, the ICE control, allows you to do, is it gives you that volume that fluctuates with the RPM of the engine. You've also got mapping. So the GPS mapping is available on all of the Centurion boats, and you can get it for the US, for Canada, for international, other countries, but you'll see your mapping screen here. And it basically has a little location point that you touch, and then you can see where you are. As you can see, right now we're not on the water. So these screens are amazing. They allow you to control just about every piece of the boat. But new for this year, we have the ROV, the Centurion ROV, or range of view. So this screen that is 3 by 5, and it's on my right hand side, allows me to have a range of views of the position of my boat in the water. Also, I have a view of my fuel usage, my trip timing, You name it, I can see how much distance I've traveled, how much fuel I've used, and what rate at which I'm using fuel, all from this view. But I've got a great rear view, and there's a camera mounted on the back of the boat. And when I put the boat in reverse, that rear view camera automatically comes on. So I can actuate that camera on my own and look at it anytime I want. So if I have a rider back there, but if I put the boat in reverse, it automatically comes on. So I've got the opportunity to see what's behind me before I really start to go in reverse. The same can be said for the bow camera. So there is a bow camera on this boat that allows me to see when I'm loading it on the trailer, when I'm getting close to a dock, and it gives me that point of view, range of view, to get onto the trailer straight and to know when I'm all the way up on that roller. That's one of those things, especially in a big boat like the Ri265. I can't see over the bow to see, am I all the way up on the trailer? And this camera will show me that. It just makes it way more functional, and it gives me not just a point of view with one camera, but a range of views and a range of information about the position of my boat and the status of what's going on with it right now. I love this feature. This is amazing. There is anything that helps me get the boat on the trailer, thumbs up from me. The other things that you'll notice on the dash are the sport shifters, which you'll see on every Centurion boat. I can control the Stinger wake plate with my left-hand sport shifters. I can control my set speed on my zero off with my right-hand sport shifters. I've also got a really cool wireless clamping cell phone charger that's made by PTM that comes standard in all of the RI series boats. So like I said, the driver's area, it's the best seat in the house. So yes, the driver's seat, in my opinion, is the best seat in the house in the Ri265, but the passenger's area is no joke. So you've got not only a glove box that's lit with the Centurion logo, you've got a two-tone billet piece made by PTM that just sets this area off, as well as a couple cup holders just for the observer. You've got access to observer storage. You've also got power points inside the glove box, as well as a special Gator Step storage tray for all your little loose items. If you're taking off wedding rings or putting watches in, they've all got their place. You're not going to lose them. And it is a watertight area, so you're not going to get that stuff wet. It's also locking. So if you choose to throw wallets or valuables in there while, say, you go in and have lunch, or you keep it at the dock for a little bit, you don't have to worry about it. Locking storage. So as I move into the bow from the observer area, I notice this nifty wind block. This is an optional wind block that is pretty cool. I don't know if you can see that, but it's branded Centurion. It's a plexiglass etched wind block. Definitely blocks the wind, does that job, but it also looks really cool. And then I can take my trip through the walkthrough to the bow. Yes, this is a walkthrough bow. No step up. And here, I can sit in this bow. I don't know if you can see me. It's kind of big, swallows you up here. But I've got access to my OB storage from the other side. I've got access to storage that's in front of the dash from back here. I've got side panels with cup holders, my Wet Sounds Warrior stereo speakers. I've got power points. I have a 12-volt power point, as well as 2 USBs I can plug into up here so I can charge my phone while I'm hanging out. I've also got a cool step. So if you opt for the ladder on your trailer, you can board your boat from the bow, and I don't have to step into this boat, especially if my shoes are on, onto my cushions. I can step on this fiberglass Gator stepped piece, take my shoes off, and then enter the boat. I've also got Gator Step all around, a very wide deck that ends up being super nice for putting your arm up and lounging. This bow is extremely deep, just like the rest of the boat. And I don't know, now I'm starting to rethink that best seat in the house thing. Maybe it's the bow. I hope you've enjoyed this lengthy walkthrough on this big Centurion boat, 26 feet, 6 inches, and all that. But don't just take my word for it. Visit your nearest Centurion boat dealer today and let us prove it to you on the water.